Hey, how's it? Aloha kako. Welcome back to the Chaos Effect Mind. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Kilo, and as always, enjoy. My dog is being especially finicky tonight. Don't know what her problem is, but as always, if you hear her, please ignore her. Akua knows I am. Okay, so right now, whether you follow it or not, there are no planets in retrograde for the next month or two. So that means it's high time you take the focus on you. You put the focus on you and you keep it there. Okay? It's time for you to clean house. Everything must go. Okay? Everything must go. So today I really wanted to focus on why it is natural born leaders. It's important for natural born leaders and winners to stay around people who see themselves in a winner light and in a leadership light as well. And to also see you in that light. Because in turn, some of the relationships we have are reflections of some stuff that we need to work on, some stuff that, usually our relationships are reflections of us. Not all the time, but sometimes, yeah. So, I just wanted to kind of go into some experiences I've had with people who are my friends and who have said they're my friends. And I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I am putting air quotes up because what they did wasn't very friend like. Okay. And I know that these people have apologized before and they said whatever, but it still made me look at them in a different light, especially because I've always seen them as a winner. I've always helped them achieve. I haven't helped them achieve, but I've pushed them in that direction to keep going. Okay, so it can be difficult to continue to push those people around you that in their right direction, and but then they're not doing the same for you. And it's not a tit for tat thing. It's a this is how I want my friendships to go. And sometimes we make excuses for people because we've known them for so long or because they've been in our life for whatever amount of time. So we end up making excuses for them. And time goes on and we end up resenting them in some way, or we don't end up talking about whatever it is, or when we do, it's kind of brushed off to the side. And so anyway, I'm going to go into a couple of different experiences I've had with that and why right now is the time. It's the rise of the lost currently. Okay? It's the rise of the spiritually, I want to say inept. I don't know if that's the right word. English is atrocious. But it's the time right now for spiritual people to wake up and to use their throat chakra in a way it's meant to be used, to spread their word, to spread their stories, not for victimization, not for pity, but to be heard in the way that they want to be heard and how they want to be known. And what do you stand for? What are your morals? What are your values? What do you bring to the table when it comes to how you want to see yourself and how you want to sculpt and create your life to be? Okay? So, I feel it's very important to find those people that are your soul family, to have them around you, because people think just because I'm so strong, I've been so strong on my own for so long, that I'm good. Check on your strong friends. Okay? Just because people have done things alone for so long, and just because people have, that's all they've known is being independent and not really relying on anyone else, but that is because the people around them are not reliable. They are not people that we can count on, people we can call and be like, hey, whatever. Some people are, but again, some of it stems from, it feels like a kind obligation. And I don't want to be friends, buddies, pals, family, whatever, with anyone that feels obligated or obliged to do me any favors. Please don't do me any favors. Thank you. If you feel obliged to do something for somebody and you're not doing it out of the goodness of your heart, you probably shouldn't do it, because in some way, whether that be conscious or unknown or unconscious, you will resent that person. And unless you express those things, now some people may not understand. It doesn't really matter who understands, who doesn't. But, all feelings cannot be explained, but all feelings are valid. I'm not saying the point is valid, but whatever emotions we feel are valid, and we are not our emotions. So I say that to say, I've been doing my rounds with when it comes to the people I have in my life, and I've cut off a lot of people just because I solely feel like it was very one-sided. Friendships have a line, but also when I feel that like I said, when I feel the relationship is one-sided and I am bringing more to the table than the other person is, it's just there's nothing more to say. There's nothing more to say. Like, maybe I've learned that lesson with that person, within that relationship with that person. It's just it sucks, because it makes it very difficult to cultivate relationships, because a lot of relationships are cultivated on superficial shit, fake shit. I used to have this one friend who, she only really ever had me around because there was always a lot going on in my life. I've had a lot going on in my life. Who hasn't? Since I was very, very young. It always felt like she felt bad for me, but she had money. So she would spend her money on me. She would do this, do that. And I had to sit her down and be like, yo, I appreciate what you're doing, but also stop. Because it makes me feel some type of way. And maybe this is my pride, but to me, it felt like she needed people by her who were lesser than or more miserable than her, so she could like fix them, or she wanted them to be miserable with her, because she was never truly happy no matter how much money she had. And just she was a shit person to travel with too. Her and I could never really have a good trip together. So yeah, and it's unfortunate. I did care about her as a person, but unfortunately she was someone who chose her relationships over her friends, and that left her isolated. And anytime anything bad would happen with her relationship, she would end up coming back in my life. I'd be there, and then it goes on and on and on. But that's how cycles are created. That's how things go. And I truly feel that need to tell other people to be realistic, or to live life for how society feels you should be living your life, comes from a need to be secure, from a need of you not being secure in yourself and not trusting yourself ultimately with the decisions you make in your life. And that is because probably at a young age, somebody instilled in you that you weren't capable of making decisions for yourself that were valid. You weren't capable of making decisions for yourself and them working out. But that's how life goes. We make decisions, things happen, they either work out or they don't. And then we adjust. We have to be adaptable. We have to be. It's also important to know how you're showing up spiritually, because if you don't show up spiritually in the 5D for yourself, and you're trying to make all these 3D matters work, and you only care about what 3D matters, you're just as lost as you claim I am. So, and again, faith is believing in things that you can't see with your eyes, you can't physically touch, you can't physically hear, all these physicality things. And my question really is why can't faith and spirituality be congruent? Why can't they be the same, like meshed as one category? Because I was talking to someone about spirituality, and like, oh, I have been kind of staying away from spirituality. I'm more focused on my faith. And I'm like, in my head, well, my spirituality is my faith. Okay, just because we don't label it some white guy in the sky with a wand that looks like a wizard doesn't mean that I don't have faith in anything. Doesn't mean I don't believe and call it God or creator or whatever name you want to label it. I'm just more open-minded than that. And that's what spirituality is. It's not a confinement of one religion. It is a belief that all religions are valid. It is a belief that all things matter and that we are one in essence. Ooh, I got chicken skin saying that. And our mind is a very powerful place to be in. So why not make it a kind place, a beautiful place to be in? And these thoughts, again, they stem from you. The thoughts of you needing to fit into a mold stems from just a need to seek that validation of the same people who gave you the mindset of you can't do this unless you fit into this mold. You can't do that unless you fit into that mold. We are in a time of unrealistic ass things happening and making it our reality. I don't have time for a lesson on alchemy, but check me out on YouTube. Maybe you could learn something. And it's crazy because we seek the same energy out. Our subconscious seeks the same energy out, to try to keep us in that mindset of we ain't shit, and that we're not going to do anything unless we fit into society's mold of what they feel I need to be doing with my life, and what they feel I should be doing, and how I should make money. And because content does not equal happy. You could be content with your rich ass job. You could be content with your fake ass coworkers, but that does not equal happy. So you can tell me to fit in the mold, to do this, it's not realistic, or whatever you want to say, but I know who's truly winning at the end of the day, because your mind sounds like a shitty place to be, and I don't want any part of it. And of course, as humans, we want to help our friends in some way and make sure they're going in the right direction. That's not your job. That is not your job. Your job as a friend is maybe to provide counsel, advice if it's asked of you, and that's key, asked of you. No one asked your fucking opinion, just saying. And you don't have to understand everything, but you don't have to agree. My agree to disagree game is on point. So you don't have to agree with what I'm saying. It doesn't have to make sense to you, but I don't have to be around you anymore when it comes to me talking to you about certain things, because we just don't see eye to eye. And I'm good with not seeing eye to eye, but I'm not about to surround myself with someone with a mindset that I worked very hard to stay away from, and very hard to separate myself from. And your negative ass is trying to suck me into another reality, when in this case is not my reality. It's not my reality. I don't claim your reality as my own. So whether it's well intended or not, I know, again, it stems from a human sick ass need to try to fix people, and try to fix whatever, fix your own life, because your life is a mess. Your spirituality, your faith, whatever you want to call it, is a mess. And focus on yourself. When you start pointing fingers, doing this, telling other people that, point that finger right back at yourself. Go in the mirror, look in the mirror, put your finger up, and look who you should be focusing on, because it shouldn't be anyone else outside of you. And it's funny because when I pull my energy back from certain people, or I say I'm not going to really talk to them as much anymore, that's when they start contacting me the most. That's when they start like doing weird shit online, and I'm just like, are you okay? Because I energetically they feel that, but that's just how powerful my energy is, and I am very much aware of that. I got people telling me that I haven't seen in years, talking about your aura is the energy we need in this world and all this shit. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, so I'm on the right path. I'm on the right path in some way. I'm on the right path, and I don't need anyone to tell me that my path is not the right path just because it doesn't make physical 3D sense to you. There was periods and claps in the middle of all of that. And another thing too is that the need to fit into a mold, and the need to seek society's validation in the things you're doing, it's really stemming from an innate need to people please in some way. Because when we were kids, we had to people please our parents in some way. We had to kind of adhere to what they were saying, and if they weren't satisfied, they absolutely showed it, or told us, or verbalized it. But that's the only time they verbalize any kind of emotion. And that's how it was for me, you know. I could never make my mother happy. Anything I did was never ever good enough. It didn't matter if I was the perfect student, the perfect daughter, the perfect sister. Nothing I did was good enough. She would pick me apart piece by piece. Just all this negative shit. Pick me apart about oh, why am I not doing this way, or why am I not doing that way. I'm like, how about we recognize what I am doing rather than what I'm not doing and what you feel I should be doing. I also find the irony laughable because anytime I attempted to listen to somebody else about what path I should be on or this, that, and the third, I ended up right back in the same place I was. Like, I was miserable. And it just went full circle right back to, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing right now. I know that. Akua knows that. You know, my alma Kua knows that. Kapuna has been leading me, guiding me, telling me this isn't the right way. You intrinsically and intuitively know what is right for you. You're just afraid to follow your light and your path. Don't bring that shit over here because I'm not. I've always been different. I've always followed what I felt in my heart to be true. I'm just free spirited in that way. You could call me delusional. You could say whatever you want. But at the end of the day, who gives a fuck? We're all delusional in some way. Living in this society is delusional because we think this matrix is real. That's where the joke really is. You know, you can pop shrooms all you want, but that doesn't make you profound. It doesn't mean that you're doing the work that is required when you are taking that medicine. It doesn't mean that you're listening to your guidance. There's a reason people take shrooms. Okay? It's not for fun. It's not for shits and giggles. It's, yeah, they are fun and it's all that, but it's for work. It's for healing. It's for enlightenment. Okay? But enlightenment without work is really just a drug, I guess, is how I want to say it. So you can take all the shrooms you want in the world, but if you're not doing anything to work on it or fix while you're taking that medicine, because shrooms are medicine, then why are you taking them? Because it's cool? Because it's popular? Just because you want to feel good? You know, it's silly to me. It really is. You can have goals that are attainable. You can have a plan for how you want to mold and shape your life. Absolutely. But you can't be so strict within that plan that that's the thing you follow to the T because, again, like I said before, you have to remain adaptable in this life because shit happens, things happen, you get in your own way, whatever it may be, but these things happen, they occur. They occur more frequently than we care to acknowledge. And, you know, I've had plenty of people be like, oh, you need to have a plan. You have to have a plan. Okay, just because you've had the same job for 30 years and just because you're doing all this weird shit with your life that you think society wants you to do doesn't mean that that's what I need to be doing. Doesn't mean that that's what needs to happen in my life. Good for you. Have the same job for 30 years. Do the same miserable ass shit you do every single day. I cannot. My spirit cannot condone it. It will not allow me to do it. And I refuse. You know, and it's funny to me because, you know, when COVID came around, people were losing their job. Their pretty little jobs they had for how many years? You know what I mean? They were like, oh, what am I going to do? I had this job for upwards of 40, 50 years. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, I bet you're praying to God now. That's crazy. But again, just because you have a plan and just because you think you have a job for certain jobs have hiring freezes, jobs have budget cuts, jobs, their companies are imperfect. They're imperfect and they throw humans in there as machines, wear them out, burn them out, and then toss them and repeat. You know, I've never had a job actually give a fuck about who I am as a person or my mental health or anything like that. Their only question is, are you showing up today? I've had many jobs in this life. And, you know, I had this job at AWS. Hated it. Fucking hated it. It was the worst job. One of the worst jobs I've probably had. A lot of the jobs I had were shit jobs. It was just to make money. But we're not rocking like that anymore. I just winked in case you're wondering. But yeah, I had this AWS job. It helped me. It helped me pay some stuff off. It helped me do some things. But at the end of the day, I had to say goodbye. And also, they ended my contract. They were on a hiring freeze. But they did me a favor because I was gonna do it anyway. I didn't agree with them morally. I didn't agree with what they were doing with the planet. I didn't agree with the work environment. I didn't agree with just the overall general well-being of that office and what it entailed to work in that environment. It was a toxic ass environment. It was a weird environment to be in. It was very male dominated. And these are fucking nerds behind a computer. They don't know how to talk to a woman. They don't know how to say anything properly to a female. So, when I come in there, I speak my mind regardless of where I'm at. Doesn't matter. I already got the job. So they didn't really know how to take that, especially the ones with very fragile egos. And it's a lot of toxic masculinity shit going on in there. By the way, if you have not tried a Ripple Plus vape, I'm addicted. Even though there's no nicotine in there, it's just plants, it's herbs, but they are so dope. I pray to be sponsored by them one day because honestly, I've been using these shits like nonstop since I found out about them a week ago. About a week ago. But what a night together. What a time to be alive. Shout out Bobby Schmurder, fucking weirdo. But yeah, anyway, so I got the job at Amazon through a friend, and they had this contract hiring program that if you referred a friend or a person to work there and they stayed for whatever amount of time, they would give that person a bonus, blah, blah, blah. I ended up staying there. I was in logistics at the time, and I fucking hate it. They treat logistics people like shit, and they get paid the least amount in that building, and they do the most fucking work. Okay, then you got the engineers who are lazy as fuck. All of them, lazy as shit. Just like battling to get these tickets in the ticket queue, battling to fix these parts. And like, they really made it a competitive and toxic environment. And then we're like, I'm not really so sure why it's such a toxic environment. Oh, maybe because you got people going neck and neck for tickets and there's not enough in the queue for the 12 people that work here. Maybe. It's like a fight to the death to get a badge to work there. And it's like, bro, I don't fucking care. I don't care. I know I'm good at what I do, but also I'm not about to kill myself to work in this place. Like, the environment we worked in, it was no windows in that bitch. You had to go through security, no phones. Like, you had a laptop back there that was assigned to you. It was cold. Whatever temperature it was outside, it was 10 degrees higher or lower depending on cold or hot. It was just, I had my fun there, whatever, but it was just overall, I would give it a 0.1 out of 10. I would never work there again, ever in my life. So yeah, anyway, I got the job at the logistics, and then that contract ended. They didn't have any more. And I had to like stop for 3 months in order to get another contract with them. So anyway, I wasn't even thinking about getting another contract with them. I was just hustling in between those 3 months that I was. And then the same friend that referred me, I was talking to them, and they were like, oh, why don't you reach out to the recruiter, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, I'm already going to do that. I already sent them an email this morning, whatever. And we're on the phone, and then, of course, the recruiter calls me while I'm on the phone. And they're like, oh, why don't you answer? I'm like, well, first of all, I'm at the grocery store, so I'm not about to answer and have this conversation right now. I'll call when I get back home, or when I have the chance to. That's how manifestation works, right? Act as if you already have that shit and it's already yours. Okay? So I end up calling the recruiter back, and he says they had one slot left and one interview left for the thing. They like to create urgency in that way. So I ended up going to the interview. I knew I was going to get it. I answered all the dumbass computer questions they had. So I called my friend, and I told him that I got the interview. And I also told him that, I was the last person, whatever. You would think I murdered this motherfucker's dog or something, the way he reacted. He was like, I can't fucking believe how the fuck you get so lucky, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, bruh, I thought you were my friend. I thought you were my friend. I was around whenever you were trying to get this job and you were not gonna reapply and all this shit, and you were gonna give up, and I told you keep going, keep going, keep going, keep applying. Motherfucker ended up getting the job eventually. And he, again, like I said, he had the job before. But anyway, he gets paid more than me. I didn't understand the problem. I didn't see the problem. But his problem was things come so effortlessly to me, and that I got lucky in getting that position in that job. No, I created that opportunity by sending that email and by getting that call and by taking that interview. Okay? So, and like I said, apologize later, but honestly, it truly made me look at them differently, just because, we're supposed to be family, right? We're cousins. Like, we're supposed to be family. But no, it's not. That's not how it was. We're supposed to be friends, whatever. That's not how it was. And it really made me look at them differently, because literally, had they stopped applying to the job that they were trying to get at Amazon, they wouldn't be where they're at right now. Okay? They were going to give up. They were going to give up. And I'm not saying I did the work to get them there, but I also didn't discourage them, be like, yeah, fuck that job. Let's go smoke a blunt. That's not what I did. I told them to keep applying, keep applying, keep applying. They did, and now they are where they are now. And I just think it's funny because, you go around listening to other people about who you think are for you, who you believe through and through are for you, but that reaction truly told me otherwise. And again, they apologized, whatever, water under the bridge, but it just made me feel like, not that they're a loser, but like, honestly, yeah, a little bit, because you are so mad about somebody else winning when you're already in a position to win, that you're bitter about it. For what? And again, whenever I come to this person with ideas or anything like that, tell me be realistic, do that. And it's like, okay, they don't say dream the realistic. They say dream the impossible, right? They don't say, oh, here's an airplane. I'm going to let this bitch fly in the sky. You think that was realistic back then? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And it makes it difficult to have a friendship, a family relationship with this person after that, because it's like, bruh, I've literally been behind you in all the shit you didn't tell you to be realistic, didn't tell you any of that. But these fuckers are so focused on money and monetary gain and superficial shit. And don't tell me you're not superficial, because when all you're focused on is money, what the fuck do you think that makes you? Superficial. Yeah, you're only interested in what this 3D world can bring you, and that is because of your upbringing and how you were raised and how you were programmed to think. Okay? So, I'm not in a state of delusion. I understand money makes the world go round, but I'm also not going to tell my friends or be mad at my friends for getting an opportunity that they created, that they earned, that they worked their ass off for and deserved. Okay? That's not what I'm going to do, but that's not the type of person I am. Okay? And this person's mother is very, very religious. Again, I'm sure that's where all the realism shit comes from, and don't get it twisted. I've struggled a lot in my life. A lot. Financially, physically, housewife, all that shit. I've been through a lot. Haven't we all? But yeah, that really changed my perspective on this person. And then to go to them with any, I'm more creative, but to go to them with any idea of any creative shit, I don't care what you say. Money, you need money to start a business. Okay, and you also need a mindset of a winner to not be a fucking loser. So, I'm not trying to come at you away. I'm not trying to feel any type of way. It is what it is, bro. You said what you said, and I'm saying what I'm saying. And, yeah, so, and of course, this person has their faults, but they support my music sometimes and whatever. But they literally only focus on the 3D, and that shit drives me fucking insane, because I can't talk to somebody like that. I can't talk to somebody that's not spiritually inclined, that doesn't understand the spiritual laws of this universe, that doesn't understand what manifestation looks like and what faith in yourself looks like. faith through and through. Faith is something, believing in something you can't see, you can't touch, you can't feel. But a lot of people don't have that, okay? Because it's not tangible. It's not right here in front of your face right now. But that's the society we live in. Instant gratification. Let me have it now. I need it now. Do it now. Money this, money that. You know, money doesn't make you a better person. And money damn sure won't get you out of the mindset you're in when you're working for these shit ass companies that you don't even agree with. You're killing yourself every day, working 10, 12-hour shifts 4 days a week, and you're dead tired to do anything else, thinking that 3 days a week off is enough to recuperate from the energetic loss you took at that stupid ass job. You know? And again, I was grateful for the opportunity, and I was just there to make money, but I knew that was not something I was going to do. It's not something I wanted to do because I saw how all of those people in there acted. They all cared about money so much, but were so tight-knit when it came to spending any money. And they made so much money. So much money. And then they're going to sit there and tell themselves, oh, I'm broke. I can't afford this. I'm not going to be able to buy land. Yeah, keep telling yourself that. Because guess what? The universe doesn't listen to want or don't want. It listens to what you say. It listens to what you say. And I'm not going to sit there and tell myself I'm broke because I know I'm rich spiritually. It doesn't matter if I financially have the money right now. I know I can bring that shit into my life. There is an alternate timeline in which I am well off and I am happy. I'm at peace. I am comfortable. You know, I'm comfortable with where I'm at financially, physically, familially. I don't even know if that's a word, but yeah. Again, not to trash this person because I'm going to trash the next person a little bit too. But, you know, it's just a mindset thing. And, you know, sometimes you can't make excuses for these people, whether or not you've known them for a long time, whether or not they've been there for you. That is a prime example of why being around people who have faith in themselves to be a winner and that they are a winner currently, whether or not they physically look like they're winning right now. Okay? And that physical part is very, very key because, you know, it's easy to have faith in shit when it's right in front of you. How about when it's not in front of your face and you don't see it yet? And you're working day in and out, day in and out, day in and out, and you still don't see it. Are you still going to keep the faith then? They say to pray when you're doing good, but they say pray even more when you're not doing so good. Right? So another one would be, you know, and again, I just had a conversation with this friend pretty recently about this, but, you know, I was submitting my music to something and I was telling them the guidelines for submitting the thing. And, you know, I was like, oh, I need this, and this. They're like, yeah, but that's only if you're going to win. Excuse me? Pardon? Awe? What you say? Yeah, of course I think I'm going to win. Of course I know I'm going to win. Why would I go into anything thinking I'm going to lose or thinking that I don't have a chance to win? And, you know, they said to me they weren't sure why they said that. I'm not sure why you said it either, to be honest with you, because, again, I lit a fire under some of these people's asses when it comes to getting what they want and to getting what they deserve. I instilled that faith in these people. And it's just interesting to me to see that the reverse is not true. The reverse is not true, and it sucks. Because, again, these are people I call my family, my friends, things like that. And, you know, it's exhausting being in a one-side scenario most of the time. And a lot of the friendships I come across, a lot of them are one-sided. And, you know, I don't fault any of these people for their upbringing or their mindset. Just keep that mucky ass shit over there because I don't need it in my life. It took me a lot to become the lotus flower I am today because no mud, no lotus. Don't get it twisted. But it took me a lot to drudge out of the mindset that my mom instilled in me. And, you know, my dad was a puppet to her, but he was never really any support either. Truly, because he was just going along with what my mom said. And, it's difficult as a child, as an adolescent, especially as a female adolescent, to go through life and her to be like, oh, you're ugly, you're pretty. Actually, boys aren't going to know what to do with you. Sexualize a female at 10 years old. Like, what the fuck is that? Oh, you're fat, you're skinny, you're stupid, you're smart. I feel like I'm a Matilda. I'm smart, you're dumb, I'm big, you're tall. It's just that mindset. It took me a long time to build where I am today and to create and alchemize the mindset I have today. It's not easy work, but it's work I put in and work that I did. Okay? So anyone that has that mindset that's around me, they're not around me anymore. I can tell you that right now. Because I refuse. I refuse to subject myself to the same energy of where I grew up and what I separated myself from. Because, that's how we are as humans. We feel whatever energy from our parents growing up, and then in turn we're searching, but that's consciously probably, or unconsciously, searching for that same energy, that same feeling. But it gives us an excuse to not do the things we actually want to do in this life. Because we can do whatever the fuck we want with our lives. Period. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. Everyone's so focused on money. I gotta make money. I gotta. Well, how about you create a different mindset? How about you create a different financial mindset than the one you have currently? And that shit will just roll in. That shit will roll in, and you'll be amazed at what faith can do and at what having faith in something you can't see will do for you. Because we are always guided, whether that be by our akua, amakua, kupuna, that's our gods, our spirit gods, and our ancestors. We are always being guided. My question is, are you ignoring that? Are you ignoring that part of who you are? Oh no, my intuition could never be right. Never be right. I'm just listening to what I know. If you always do what you've always done, you'll never get where you want to go. I don't know if that's the exact quote, but it's something like that. If you always do the things you've always done, you'll never get it. Something like that. But yeah, it is very key to surround yourself with a winner mindset, because it took me a long time to see that, oh, maybe that was just a fluke, or maybe just making excuses for these people. It's like, no, it's no more excuses. No more excuses. And then also you got the people who are your friends who say they support you, say they do this, blah, blah, blah. But they're saying a lot, and talk is pretty, but they're not doing it. They're not supporting you in physical ways. And I guess that's a 3D or pride thing. I don't know. But yeah, things like that really, really drive me crazy. And then they want support from you for the things they do. So it's a weird line to draw when it comes to friendships. And I'm not saying any friendship is perfect. You decide who you surround yourself with. You alchemize your life. You choose what energy you allow into your life. Are you going to allow all these critics around you to tell you what's right from wrong? Are you going to allow your inner critic to steer you away from the shit you worked through and worked so hard for? These are just the things that run through my mind on a daily basis. But yeah, I hoped you all gained something from this. That was really just my rant for the day. I know that I have been a little absent on here. My spine has been bothering me a little bit recently. And I have been thinking a lot. I've actually stopped smoking weed too, so it's a lot is coming into light, into clarity, and I'm no longer fogged in my brain, in my intuition of what those things are. Because I know what kind of friendships I deserve. I know what kind of friendships I want around me. I know how I want to be spoken to. And it's none of those things. It's none of those things when it comes to certain people in my life. So, unfortunately, I got to keep my distance. No shade, no harm, no foul. But I just got to keep my distance, because your mindset is not going to change about you. about how you're programmed. But me, on the other hand, I know all I do is win, 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 no matter what. Hey, money on my mind, I can't never get enough. That's the affirmation right there, for real. But yeah, I hope you guys have a blessed one, and join me again in the next coming week for another podcast on the Chaos Effect Mind. Thank you so much for joining me. I have very much gratitude to you if you made it all the way to the end. Peace.